Hello and welcome to my channel, Healthy Spouse, Healthy House. My name is Tony and I would love for you to go on this journey with me as I navigate through what I believe are the 15 different areas of health. Now, each week I'm going to introduce you to an area of health. Then I'm going to define that particular area of health. Then I'm going to discuss some healthy habits and some unhealthy habits in that area, and also discuss what it means to be healthy in that area. And then lastly, we'll make plans and we'll make goals to actually become healthier in that particular area. Now, I know you hear a lot about physical health and about mental health. You know, those are very popular areas of health. But I want to also introduce and talk to you about other areas of health that are less popular, but they're still just as important as your physical health or mental health. So, how I came about this concept was about 8 years ago when I went through postpartum depression and anxiety all at the same time. And during this time, I was overwhelmed, I was overweight, I was overworked, I felt very inadequate. I felt like a failure to my family and to those who were depending upon me to get even the simplest of things done. And so during this time, as I'm going through postpartum, I did not know that that's what I was going through because I had two children prior and I had never gone through postpartum before. It only happened with my third child. And so I was not aware of the symptoms and different things like that. I didn't even know what to look for. So basically, there were things that contributed to the postpartum and to the anxiety. During this point in time in my life, I had lost 4 family members that right before the pregnancy, during the pregnancy, and right after the pregnancy, I had lost 4 family members. And then there were things that had happened or were going on at work, and also just with the things that were happening just in life in general. And I just felt myself just drowning from all of the things that I had to do. I found no solace, and, even times where I was able to rest, it didn't feel like rest because then my mind would keep going. So there were just a lot of things that were happening during that time. And I began to pray and I began to ask God, what is wrong with me? And and God was just telling me, you're unhealthy. And I remember saying, I'm unhealthy. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll start exercising, I'll start eating right. And so I begin to do that as God would reveal, these different areas of health to me. I begin to then go ahead and make plans and goals in those areas, and I'd be like, okay, I want to do better, I want to be better. And so that's what I did. And so he began to show me, first it was the physical health, and then he showed me, he said, you're also unhealthy mentally. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm not crazy. And that's how I was feeling, like, I'm not crazy. But no. And so I was like, okay, so what can I do? So I went out and I got a behavioral counselor. And during this time, like I said, I'm still going through the motions. And my husband and I decided at that time that I was going to be a stay-at-home wife and mom to kind of alleviate a lot of the responsibilities that I had to uphold on a daily basis, because it was a lot. I was truly overwhelmed. And so during this time, there were people praying for me. There were people supporting me and supporting us in many different ways. And there there was this one woman from my church in particular, and she was just a breath of fresh air. She was always encouraging me. She would send me cards. She would even send me gifts and hugs and words of encouragement, just to, because she knew that there were things that were going on with me, and she just wanted to support me and wanted to support my family. And my mom was there. There were people who were aware of the situation that were checking on me. And I thank God for that. And I just began to pray because I just felt like I was not myself, but I was encouraged during that time. And I really do believe that really kept me afloat. So I began to pray, continued to pray, and I continued to fast. And I fast, and God would just tell me, you're unhealthy in this area. You're unhealthy in that area. Oh, you're unhealthy in this area. And I'm like, this area? I didn't even know that was an area of health. But God would just reveal these things to me. And you need to do this. You need to do more of that. And I'm like, wow, and so I'm like having moments where I'm just like, wow, and even feeling refreshed that God is speaking to me, that I'm mending even my relationship with Him at this point in time. And so it was during also about a year, 2 years later, that I was asked to speak on a panel. And by this time, I had had a fourth child. And when I tell you that postpartum tried to come back, but because I had learned so many things during that time, just trying to get better, I just thank God that this particular pregnancy was different. And right after having my fourth child, I was asked to speak on a panel by someone that I admire. And at first, I remember thinking that I was like, I am not equipped to speak on this panel. What can I show, or what can I teach another woman? Because it was a panel of women, for women. And I was like, what can I show or teach another woman? I was already overwhelmed with my particular situation going on. And I just felt like I didn't even have the strength or whatever to even help someone else. I was just like, I'm just trying to help myself. I'm just trying to help my family. I'm just trying to be there for, these people right here. I don't know if I can even, but I was encouraged. She encouraged me. My husband encouraged me. I prayed about it. God encouraged me. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to do it. So by this time, God had shown me many different areas of health. And I began to walk in what He was showing me, and, really making plans and goals, writing these things down. And then, so what happened was I was on the panel, and I began to talk about the things that God had shown me concerning the areas of health. And I remember this one woman coming back up after everything and telling me, and other people may have come to me and said something, but I remember this one woman in particular, because she said, what you said really helped me, and I'm going to use it. I even like how you worded it. And I was just like, oh. And the reason why I mentioned her is because that's when it clicked. It clicked that I was supposed to help other women and possibly other people live healthier lives. And that I'm supposed to show other people what He has shown me. And that it just blew my mind. It clicked and it blew my mind. And then from then on, I was like, okay, Lord, how am I supposed to do this? And so here I am. This happened maybe about 5 years ago or so. And I'm here now. And there's so much to say, but you'll learn more as time goes on, as more videos come on, as I sit here before you. So I would love for you to join me as I pretty much introduce you to an area of health, as I define that area of health, as we discuss the area of health, and as we make plans and goals in each of these areas of health. And I would love for you to comment. I would love for you to let me know how you're doing. And I also want to let you know that each of these journeys will be a personal journey. It will be different. Not everybody's journeys will look the same. Okay, so it's going to be your own personal journey. What works for me may not work completely for you. And then, so please join me each and every week. All right. God bless you. See you next week. Bye bye.